The business you built to give yourself freedom might be the exact thing destroying your health. Most of us just push through until our anxiety becomes actual symptoms and our symptoms become a lifelong diagnosis. That's what happened with me. And I want to walk you through what that looked like because I think a lot of you are experiencing something similar and you just haven't connected it to your business yet. It starts with the sinking feeling that you get when someone asks for a refund or you get a bad review. For me, it's revision requests, where my chest will physically hurt anytime I get one. When a client calls in because they're unhappy about the value, I feel physically unwell. And that's because, on one hand, I know how important it is to them. It's their livelihood, their home. But on the other hand, there's literally nothing I can do to fix the situation because the value is determined by the market. I can't change that. But that negative interaction can cause a lot of stress and anxiety. But that alone is not what's making us sick. What's making us sick is letting those negative interactions get into our heart. There's a difference between feeling something and fully letting it in. Feeling it means you're human. It's important to have empathy regardless of the situation. But it is so important not to let it into your heart because once it's in there, it starts affecting how you feel about yourself, about your worth. It starts affecting how you make decisions in the future and about your business. Letting it in too deep is when you start to get to the point where the anxiety lives there all the time. You're always waiting for that next complaint, that next issue. And your nervous system will start to treat that like a constant threat. And because of that, it will never turn off. And that puts a ton of stress on your body. Despite the fact that I know I should never let that in, it happens. I will see another email about a revision and it just ruins my day. So to protect myself from letting those types of things happen is I've had to turn the notifications off on my email so I don't accidentally stumble across things like that. I've had to hire someone who is the buffer between me and those complaints so that they can handle things before it ever reaches me. Because I've always let those things get to me so deeply, I am always in a constant state of stress where I'm just waiting for that next issue to come up. Before I added that buffer between me and those issues, it didn't matter how successful my company was. It didn't matter how many things were going right. I was still in that constant state of stress. And that constant state of stress is what eventually makes you permanently sick. A few months ago, I shared a video about a possible diagnosis that I was facing called lymphomatoid papulosis. If you haven't seen that video, I'm gonna include a link in the description. So here's just a quick update on that. I've officially been diagnosed with that lymphomatoid papulosis. It is a skin condition that looks like lymphoma under a microscope, but it doesn't spread aggressively like lymphoma does. But the reason that I want to share this with you is because I believe that the amount of stress that I put myself under causes these crazy immune system issues. And that's what this is. It's my immune system attacking my skin, essentially. So use me as a cautionary tale. I am always letting things get to me way more than they should. And it's mostly, like I said, just the anxiety that I get when I do something wrong or the anxiety when someone's unhappy with my business or my work. It's not something that I can always control, but I have to work every day at not letting myself feel so deeply the things that go wrong. And because of that, because I've struggled with that for so long and I've let that affect me for so long, I believe that it's part of the reason that I have these conditions that I have. I have ankylosing spondylitis, which is an inflammatory condition, and I have now this LYP, which is another inflammation-related thing. And that inflammation is coming from somewhere. And I fully believe it's coming from stress and anxiety. And I know this because when I get stressed, I get a flare-up of these conditions. It's something that shows up in people who have been dealing with stress for a very long time. This is exactly what I'm trying to teach my kids as well, where it's okay to feel things when things go wrong. It's okay to have that empathy, to to feel bad about things, but don't let it into your heart. Your heart is where your identity lives. If you let every client complaint, every unhappy person affect you that deeply, it will start to physically change you. My body is showing the physical evidence of everything that I let in that I shouldn't have. So if you're ever feeling run down or a complaint is just completely ruining your day, try to protect yourself against those things. Put a buffer between you and them. Hire someone to help you to keep those things as far away from you as possible. Because if you continue to let those things get to you, you might find that you end up with your own diagnosis. Please like and subscribe. I would love to share more with you next week. Thanks.